Charge more. It's easy to say, but hard to do. Or is it? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to charge more money, pay your talent better, make more money for yourself, and provide a better experience to your client. We need to establish a term. I've dubbed it margin maximalist. This is not someone like Scrooge McDuck who is sitting there swimming in all the gold. This is someone who understands that better margins are able to help them attract better talent, pay themselves more, and serve their clients better. So it's not a greedy mentality. It's actually a mentality that's going to help you give back to everyone involved in your process. And those people are what I call the TOC split, the TOC split. T for team, O for owner, and C for client or customer, depending on your niche. The TOC split works like this. 35% will go to your team, 35% will go to you, and the remaining 30 will go to your customers. And here's exactly how it's going to work. Let's say your old price or your current price right now is $1,000 for an item, and your profit is $200. So it costs you $800, labor, everything to get this out the door. So your profit is $200. Well, if you increase your cost to $1,200, so a 20% increase, now all of a sudden your cost is still $800, but your profit margin is now $400. Simple math, right? So how are you going to break that out? You're going to say for that extra $200 that you made, and of course you might be thinking, oh man, $200 is not a lot, but or $400 isn't a lot. But if you take this and said, well, over the course of a year, that number starts to add up. And if you're doing 1 million revenue or 5 million revenue or 10 million revenue, all of a sudden these numbers really change the game. So think about it like this. If you did 2,000 sales last year at $1,000, your old profit was $400,000. But under this new model, your new profit is now $800,000, which means you have $400,000 to apply this TOC split to. And so this is where it's interesting. Your team can actually make an extra $140,000 a year. You can make $140,000 a year, right? So now you've taken that and said, okay, well, that's $280,000, and the remaining one was at 120. Do a math on the fly. That can go to your customer. So how do you split this up? Let's talk about your team first. You want your team to buy into this. The worst thing you can do is raise prices and not reward them. So depending on where you're at, how much revenue you're doing, and how much you can increase your prices, you want them to be bought into this because they are the key to you enjoying your business more. Let me say that again. They are the key to you enjoying your business more. So of this 35%, now if you're doing, let's say $100,000 a year, you have a very small business, then the numbers here might be like a gift card reward or maybe a small vacation or something like that. But if the numbers are $400,000, then all of a sudden you could pay for a long trip to Hawaii. Your 3% raise could go to a 4% raise. Bigger bonuses. There's a lot of things that you can do so that they understand that these new prices are going to benefit them. And so they're in a pool, right? So they're getting that 35% pool that they're going to get, and that's going to benefit them all because you want them all to work together. Now, some units will drive revenue more than others, but as we all understand, if one unit is falling behind, then the other unit will lag. So if you have a lot of sales but you can't deliver, then your sales are going to suffer. If you can deliver but you can't sell, then it doesn't matter. So you need to figure out how to disperse this 35% across your company so that everyone participates in this new additional income. Do you want 20 hours a week? That's what I help business owners do. Check out the link below with the assessment to see exactly where you're deficient at, or if you're deficient at all. Some owners come to me and they don't have any problems. That's fantastic. But this assessment is exactly what you want to take to see where you might want to improve those things and if we should work together. The 35% for you, that's going to your pocket right now. You can invest that back in the business if you want to. You can take less than 35. You just don't want to take more than 35 because you want your team to appreciate what they're doing. You want them to monetize. You want them to make money off of this. And then you want to make more money too. The final percentage, the final 30% goes to your customers. And there's two ways you're going to think about this. The first is publicity and marketing. You're going to do this in a way that says, okay, I'm going to build out a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, newsletter, whatever it might be, and I'm going to tell everyone everything there is to know about my business. Pro tip here. When you do this, if you build some content around don't hire me if, so if you're an HVAC, don't hire me if you have this problem. How many people would watch that and go, I'm not going to hire that person. I can do that. Someone like me is still going to call you because I'm not mechanically inclined, but someone else, they're going to fix it. But when someone else has that problem, their friend, they're going to share your video with them. So don't hire me if this is a huge unlock for businesses. And because you're now charging more, you've eliminated those lower ticket calls on some level because they're not going to call you for that now anyways. They're going to call you for the higher ticket stuff because you've shown value, you've given back to them, and it didn't cost them a dime. Newsletter, YouTube, whatever it might be. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to use this time to go meet with people in your community or your industry. So if you're a local home service business or a local business, you can meet with local politicians, the fire chief, the police chief, all those type of people, and ask them questions that your community cares about so that you are tied to all of the high movers and shakers in your area in a way that when people think about stuff in the community, they think about you. The next thing is if you're a national company, and let's say that you sell CRMs or some kind of software, right? So you might want to bring on an attorney to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make in business. So now again, you're giving free value about some legal law that's tied to your profession, and you're interviewing experts so that your customers and potential customers, when they search for this question, they see that you're the person who cares the most about this. So that 30%, half of it's going to go to helping educate your clients and potential clients about what's going on so that they will call you when they need the help. And if you do it right, you can show them how to solve the simple problems that they're calling you for now so that when you get the phone call, it's only the higher ticket stuff. Okay, we said 30%, half is going to education, helping people understand what's going on, meeting valuable people, bringing them value nonstop so they always think of you. The other thing is, and let me be honest, talk to your lawyer about this before you do this because once you do it, once you figure out how to roll this out, your competition is going to try to figure out how to stop you as fast as possible. It's not that hard, but just make sure that you understand the rules about this kind of stuff so you don't get in trouble. What you're going to do is you're going to structure a giveaway after you talk to your lawyers in a legal manner that you can either reward your clients with a party, maybe it's a gift card, maybe it's a trip. You can give your clients certain things so that they tell everyone that you were the person who gave that to them. And so think about it like this. Let's say that you have a roofing company and you put on a new roof for a house and then you throw them a catered party. And at that catered party, all you do is show up in your branded gear, right? You set the food out, you drop a few business cards off, you have a film crew kind of filming you dropping it off. Maybe some people arrive and then you leave. It's not about you, it's about them. And you put that on social media, you share it. Now people know, wait, hold on. This person is doing this for his customers. I want to work with that type of people. Now you will attract all kinds of people. Your phone will start to ring more. So figure out a way to roll out giveaways. And the better giveaway you can do, and the more you can document that process, and the more you can make it about them, the more they're going to talk about it. Think about someone who gives away a new truck. You go, man, you got a new truck? Yeah, I won this by doing whatever. I don't know the analogy here, but I got this truck from the roofing company or whatever it might be. I got this from this person. Really? Let me go look them up. Let me see what's going on. I won this by being a customer for so and so. Or so and so does this for the customers every quarter, and man, we were lucky to do this. There are 1,000 ways you can do this. Just do it legally so that you don't get in trouble. But once you do, you will not struggle to get reviews. You will not struggle to get good feedback. People will talk about you all the time because you are the person who did this for someone else. And you can also do this for people who are struggling, like maybe it's not a client, but you hear of a local person in need, a family, the mom or dad might have cancer or there's a tragic accident. You can be the person who helps them as well. So take that 30% and try to figure out how to give as much value you can back to your clients, your customers, and even your larger community if that's applicable. Now, one thing I want to touch on is margin. And most businesses are leaving margin on the table right now. So if you go back to the analogy of the $1,000, the $200, if I had to guess right now, you're leaving money on the table, but you're now a margin maximalist. You're not Scrooge McDuck. You're trying to figure out how to make better money so you can pay people more, pay yourself more, and help your community out more, right? You're trying to do all of this. The first thing I want to tell you is if you look at the stats, most companies rarely use 100% of the functionality of the tools that they currently have at their disposal. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. One might be that the tool A is not really good at the secondary task, and so they get a different tool for that. That's possible. But oftentimes, it's just as likely that tool A can do what tool B can do, and that you just don't know about it. So make sure that you're maximizing all the tools at your disposal and they can do exactly what you need them to do. And if not, then get the second tool. And if you have the second tool, make sure you're maximizing that out. So if you just did an audit today, said, okay, here are the 5, 10, 15 tools. Are we getting out everything that we can? Can this deliver to us at a high level? Odds are you're probably leaving money on the table right there, and you're a margin maximalist, so you really want to get every penny out of this thing you can. Now, let's assume you've done that. After talking to over 350 owners, I can tell you the odds are is that you're probably in this camp. You're not automating enough of your business. You're not automating enough of your workflows. You're not linking these tools together. So you've figured out your tech suite. You figured out what you want to do, what tools, the reports they need to give you. You need to bring in someone who can do automation work to help streamline your efficiencies. Again, you're trying to be a margin maximalist. So you're trying to make this so efficient. So you have your tools. Now you're going to link them together and you're going to use automation to make sure that everything is done as fast as humanly possible. And you're going to reduce the cost. It's not about service. You still got to have humans. You still got to have people do stuff. But you'd be surprised at the companies who are not leveraging the simple automations that can really change their business. Okay, once you've found out your tools, you've eliminated the ones you don't want, and you've automated them, now this is where it gets tough. You're going to track your time into 15-minute increments. And the reason is you're losing a ton of time that you don't even realize it. And so you're going to start because you're the owner, you're the person in charge. You're going to do this because it's going to be hard, but it's worth it. So you're going to take the next month, and every 15 minutes, you're going to document what you did to understand if it's a high value task or a low value task. Could you have, actually worked 8 hours that day, or did you just work 6 and you said you worked 8? You're going to evaluate that for the next month, and you're going to do this without telling anyone, so that when you talk to your employees about this, you can tell them that you've done it, how hard it is, what you've learned, tips, tricks to make it easier, what tools you used, all of this stuff. You're going to let them know, I did this. I want to be a margin maximalist. I'm not just saying it. I've shown you by eliminating tools. We've automated this stuff. I've tracked my time, and I'm giving you guys back 35%. And this is how it's going to work. Like you've built the trust so that they understand that you're not trying to be a jerk to just really put your thumb on them. You're trying to give them more of what they want. That could be money, could be time, it could be a lot of stuff. You're trying to give that to them. And so you're leading by example. So you want to make your time as valuable as possible so you can give them more money. You're a margin maximalist, and you have to get that mentality in your mind. The last thing I want to say is by doing these things, what you're going to find, and just be prepared, is you've eliminated some tools, you've automated some processes, you've cut some time out. You're going to find that you have employees that are going to fall into 3 camps. You're going to have some that love exactly what you're doing, and they're going to thrive under the system. You're going to have some who want to do this, but they struggle, and you're going to have to train them. So be patient with those people. And then the third camp is people who aren't on board. And for those people, what you want to do is to help them find a new job. Don't just fire them today, help them find a new job. Because remember, a lot of times when things change, the owner gets the mindset, I'm going to change this, and he fires people, fire fast, they say, right? He fires people who didn't sign up with that company under that pretense. You are now shifting the culture of your company to be a better boss. You're trying to help people more. So you need to help this person find a job. Now, this doesn't mean that for the next year they get to sit around in your office while they find a job. No, you can put a time, 30, 69 days, something like that on there. But also understand that for that person who's not really equipped to do the thing that you're wanting them to do now, you didn't hire them for that. You're asking them for something else. And so help them find a new job. Write them a recommendation letter. Tell them, the people calling that they're a great employee, because they are. They were. You've had them around up until this point. They're just not a fit for what you're wanting to do. So keep that in mind. As you watch this video, the odds are that you're not a margin maximalist coming into this, but you're going to be. This is a process. Take it step by step. Figure out where you want to focus at first. Is it increasing the rates by 5%, 20%, 15%? How are you going to do that? Where can you cut the overhead at? How are you going to manage your time? It's a lot to do. So take it step by step. Figure out which section of this video you want to implement and start doing that today. Otherwise, you're just going to drown going, oh, this is way too much for me to do. And final thing, I do one-on-one coaching. So if you make it to the end and you're like, oh, this is a lot of work, Ron, I'm here to help you. Check out the assessment below and see if you're fit and if I'm a fit to help you out.